Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Industrial Faith. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to episode 28 of Factorio 4X, your 15-minute Factorio fix. This one's going to run about a minute and a half longer. That's because we actually finished the darn thing. So I figure rather than have a 2-minute video or a 1-minute video going, yay, we won, I figured I'd put it all in the last one and go from there. And it kind of makes up for the fact the very first episode was only 7 minutes long. So here I'm just kind of disconnecting all this stuff because, I mean, I need the blue more than I need another machine running. So we're just going to take care of it. Get rid of it. Because, you know, why? So everything's running, chunking along, having a good old time. We'll take what we have out of there, put it in there. That's always nice. That one had a nice little build-up, which adds a nice little boost. The ultralight materials are, of course, going to be the slowest. Because I'm going to expand it here in a moment. Here I'm looking, going, what is going on? And it's red chips doing red chip things. So I throw in a bunch of productivity modules to speed up red chips. What else am I looking? Oh, I'm just looking at what do I need? Red chips. And I'm starting to look, plastic's starting to look a little sketchy. And I'm looking at my power again, trying to see, because I want to make sure I have enough accumulators. And because right now, our entire factory looks like it runs at about 40 megawatts, which is actually a pretty small factory, so to speak. I've seen some factories that take hundreds of megawatts. Mine does not. And that's kind of what I wanted. What is a small factory? So I'm looking, all right, 40%. Everything's rolling along here. And at this point, I decide not fast enough. So why am I taking the train? Oh, I think I'm going to look at the biter attack, or I'm checking throughput. Nope, biter attacks. Something was damaged, so I said I'll come out here and take a look. Again, trying to find... here, essentially, I'm like, what am I doing? So, copper looks dandy. Everything looks great. Just, you know, checking on stuff. Checking on my far-flung empire. Trust me, the sun does set on my empire. It's rather small. So I think I just... What am I doing? Am I putting a... Oh, yeah. I'm repairing it. That's right. I put a radar because I want to see where the attacks are coming from. And more guns, because supposedly radars draw enemy fire. And there we go. No idea how that works, but it does. So here I'm looking, plastic is just not enough plastic. Now it's like, oh crap. But I only have one plastic factory going. So I'm looking for another chemical plant so I can put another one in. And I have a good time goofing everything up. I'm like, why isn't it getting... So I left the original attachments there because I figured, hey. So here we go. We're running. Everything's doing good. Checking plastic. Plastic's still good. Or getting better. Now that I've doubled the throughput. So iron. We're happy. So I'm going to put in yet another. But then I look and I go, wait a minute. Why do I need this splitter here? I actually don't even need the splitter, but whatever. Okay. So, the petroleum is in a weird spot, so I need to move the petroleum. So, and of course, I could either... And so this one's easily solved, if you notice. Yeah. Oops, I didn't mean to take off the whole thing, but it just came off, so what do you do, right? So, there we go. Petroleum's all fixed. Mostly. Ish. There we go. It's not at all complicated and convoluted. So there we go. Much more plastic. We're saturating the system with plastic. And that's going to keep us in red chips until the cows come home. Unfortunately, there are no cows in Factorio. I think it'd be rather neat. And I'm not producing enough copper, or coal, excuse me. And I think it would be neat if in Factorio if they introduced a livestock element. I honestly think that the end game shouldn't be launching a rocket with a the satellite should be a beacon, which brings the colony ship in, which then you have to build a colony. I think that'd be fantastic. Because you have the factory. I mean, do you need more rockets? Well, you can use rockets to get into space. That's nice. Here I'm expanding my light materials. Ultralight materials, excuse me. Because I don't feel that it's fast enough. And now I've got 6, which means I'll make 12 a minute. And I'm just trying to make things neat. And again, that's a nice thing about running these underground belts, is each station is powered by one basic telephone pole. So I'm just letting this thing run. So that thing's empty, so we don't need to do that anymore. And again, I have the 3 production modules on the rocket silo, so that helps. So I'm looking at this, I'm just like, not fast enough. So I'm going to build more. Now this introduces another crisis, and that is I'm not making enough steel. I'm looking for inserters and assemblers and all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, my piping is a mess, but that's my problem. So next time I'll have to run a bus of... Now I'm doing it in red because there's no reason to have any delay running around these guys. Now as you can see, my assemblers are not going to fit correctly. I just have to move them over space. So now I'm rolling 2, 4, 6, 12. So I should be making 24 a minute. Should be, being the key word. However, this will not be the case because if you watch, the steel is going to just get sucked out of the system like, well, like nothing. I mean, it works really well at first, and then the steel just kind of goes meh and goes away. And as you can see right there, the steel is just draining down. I've already reduced 1 line of steel. So I'm going to wait for the train. I'll go check out the base. I'm really worried about the bases, the turret stack, so to speak, getting wrecked. Really worried about it. I shouldn't be, because it didn't say anything was getting damaged. So I think my wall-less defense, or I should say my obstacle defense, seems to be working pretty well. So nothing's getting attacked. I'm just going to look around, see what we got. Got some big stuff. Stuff's being attacked over there. I'll go take a gander, see what we can find. The attacks are over so quick that I don't even really get to look. I just get to see the bodies. And that's no fun. There's that little hive on that little island. I think it's hilarious. There we go. And you can only see your trains when they're in the radar, which is interesting. Okay, now see, that one started attacking the wall. So I'm a little confused because it shouldn't have been attacking the wall. But it did. I think something in it started taking damage and it couldn't get to it right away. So it kind of went, I'm just going to kill you now. So, and again, here's the just making an obstacle. And I'm trying to reduce the corners as much as possible. And here we go. I leave myself, if in the open, if biters came up, they would have attacked me, and that would have been sad. So there we go. Trying to keep that. Now, I could have built it more square, and I probably should have. But that's the way it goes. So I'll experiment with my next playthrough. I'll go ahead and experiment with new fort things. So I'm just saving because I don't want to crash him, because I don't think it had auto-saved in a while. But so I'm just taking a look. Any new things out there? No. 3 exoskeletons, 3 fusion generators. I probably have too many fusion generators. I don't even know what the right ratio is. But I have 3, which seems to be a lot. So here's these guys. Crank it away. Plastic's good. Copper's good. Copper isn't good. I take it back. Copper wire, I'm trying to figure out a way. If you notice, the last 2 assemblers weren't able to put anything on the conveyor belt because it was full. So I'm trying to figure out if it's faster just to use this one to feed into it, but at the same time I still have a copper wire assembler that is unable to produce anything because the two in front of it are filling it up. So here we go. So now I'm able to use it because I've created space, and both of them are able to work fine. And it obviously, instead of working off 2 copper wire assemblers, we're now working off 4, and it fills everything up. Plastic's fine. And here's where I'm looking at the steel. We're not getting enough steel. I have actually overbuilt the light materials by a rather sizable amount. It doesn't have to be that big. In fact, it probably shouldn't. I would have been fine with 5. But I said, no, I need 12 so I can produce 24 a minute. Well, I could produce 24 a minute if I had the steel. I don't. So, and steel's being used for quite a few things. So again, I realized that next, so I'm gonna put red belts in the steel, which isn't going to help, surprisingly enough. And there I put it in the plastic, and I'm like, what the hell? Because I didn't need to put it in the plastic, but I did. So here I'm trying to increase the speed at which steel leaves, essentially the speed at which steel gets to the sources that need it, but the problem is I'm still not making enough. And that's not going to change anything. So I actually have to figure out a way to get more steel. So now I'm just replacing everything so everything runs a little faster. I don't know if red is twice as fast as yellow or 80% faster. I have no idea. I'll have to look it up maybe. So look at my steel. You see, guys, these guys are making steel as fast as they can. So I put everything to red, and it's just, look at it, just leave. That's how sparse it is. So at this point, I decide I need to do something a little crazy. I am actually going to turn one of these lines into a steel line. And it actually helps quite a bit. So let's see what happens here. Just looking, right now I'm trying to see what's using steel. And there's really nothing using steel. Everything's full. I'm not doing research, so there's no steel being used for blue research. It's all pretty much, the vast majority of it's going to the, what do you call it? Is going to the ultralight materials. So here, I've decided I'm going to repurpose this line into steel. And all I'm going to do is wait for it to use its iron, and then I'll start taking stuff apart. I'm waiting for it to empty out because I don't want to walk around with a bunch of iron ore, and it'll fill up pretty quick. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to feed it right into the other steel line. We don't have enough steel output to worry about clogging the line. We're not going to have enough steel output to worry about that. So here I'm just getting all the stuff out. And here's my iron feed, and I realize I don't have enough room. So I've got to get rid of some telephone poles. So everybody there doesn't have power. I got to switch that up. There's my input. Okay. There's my output. And we're just going to start cranking out more steel because that's what you need. And the fun part is by leaving that space, because I built everything as if I might go to electric furnaces. I had room to put electric furnaces. I could have gone to steel, but they were already electric furnaces, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put productivity modules in all of them. So all the steel furnaces are rolling productivity module 2s. Not 3s, just 2s. I saved 3s for the rocket, so there's, as you can see, there's like lumps of steel coming in, which is really going to help a lot. Here we go. Now you can see some of the end ones are starting to get the steel. And if I had made everything red, it actually would have moved it faster than some of these things could grab it, and it would have fed some of the end ones. But At the same time, this is enough to actually get everything running really well. So we're checking, just kind of looking. Steel's moving good. And again, I could have used a third line of steel. So you know, for future reference, I know 94%. I know I really need to get things rolling. So here we go. And we're short on the TVs. They remind me of Anno 2070. Is it 2070? Yeah, 2070. So, yeah, it reminds me of some of the things you need for some of the higher end levels of Citizens. I should do a playthrough of that. That's a fun game. I haven't played that in forever. That's a building game like this, and it's instead of building everything on like an island and outpost, you actually have to build different islands, have different resource capacities, and it's always a lot of fun to play around and goof around with stuff. So I'm going to start goofing around with blueprints and flying robots here while I'm waiting for the robot to finish. There we go. I can hold 10 robots, and 10 robots is perfect for how do you put it? It's perfect for turret creep. Because 10 robots will lay down the power pole and 8 turrets. And here I'm just playing with it. I have no... you'll see me pop in here trying to figure out how do I erase the stuff. Because there's a way to select, collect, drag, and have your robots then grab it. I'm going to have to... I have no idea where it is. Maybe it's not shift and left mouse button. I tried control. Apparently, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But apparently it's not in here. But with build ghost items, you should click an item and then you click shift while you're laying it, and that'll cause them to lay it. That'll pull all the material out of your backpack. So again, I'm looking. I have no idea what's going on here. I cannot find it. But I'm going to go build. There we go. Oh, it'll lay down my turrets. So that's nice too. So 98%. Dun, dun, dun. Ready to go. So I'm gonna go show you my turret creep blueprint. Now I built 5 because I wasn't sure if those guys would get power, but I checked it and they did. Don't lay down concrete because then it'll try to lay the concrete too. There you go. And then you go boop and it lays it. Isn't that amazing? That's how you do turret creep. And that's how I'm gonna do turret creep from now on. Oh, hear the noise? The rocket's ready to go. And it already loaded the satellite, so we're just saving. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we've won. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for the first season of Factorio 4X, your 15-minute Factorio fix. I look forward to seeing you in Season 2, where I think we're going to do something a little different. I think we're going to try and go a little low-tech. But thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in the next season. Have a good night, and bye-bye.